Welcome to the 29th episode of Generation Gap Book Reviews. I'm Christy the mom.
And I'm Lena the daughter. What is that? Why don't you draw it out? I'm Christy the
Because lately
mom.
you've been like boom boom like so fast through it. I'm
Yeah.
Christy the mom. I'm Lena the daughter. I was trying
I'm
to slow us
Lena
down.
the daughter.
Anyway, in today's episode we are going to be reviewing The Maze Runner by James Dashner,
No way.
which is the first book in a trilogy basically. There are prequels as well, and now there's a new series that follows it. But we're gonna review the first book, and we'll probably talk about the rest of the main series at least,
You know what?
because we both read all three. Do you have any kind of specific way you remember hearing about this book?
Not really. It might have just been because it's popular or something.
The first thing I really remember is knowing that there was a movie, and I think Dad and I even watched part of the movie, like at a hotel once.
Oh yeah.
We were just flipping through the channels and came across it, and he might have known what it was, and we tried to watch a little. We watched some of it. It was partway through already, and I remember thinking it intrigued me, but it still wasn't until years later that I ended up with a copy of the book and read it. So,
hmm
what's it about?
There's a maze and they run it,
Well, that's true, yes.
and there's grievers.
And what are grievers, Lena?
Grievers are like I think they're bugs, like mechanical bugs or slugs
Aren't
or
they like?
something. No, I mean I know, but I mean like big mechanical slugs or something
Not sure it really says that
with
much what they
teeth.
are. They're just mechanical creatures that are also have like don't they also have like flesh on them or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean from
I don't know
what
that
I
you're meant to
remember from the
necessarily know
movies and
exactly what they
stuff, but
are.
like
It's
yeah,
blobby, fleshy, mechanical
yeah,
stuff
and
that are
then
dangerous.
and they are in the maze in like at night
Okay.
because the doors to the maze close, and then the grievers are like "Ah," or whatever.
Is there actually like people involved in this book?
No.
Grievers running mazes? Are they just like rats in a maze?
Yeah, there are people. They're in this. What is it? What is it called? The
The
green.
glade.
The glade. It's a glade, and there's people. They come up from an elevator every month. Thomas comes up in the elevator. That's our main character, and and they're all boys in the glade until
Until.
until. I don't know what else to say. There's
So a
it's
bunch of
they don't remember things.
children or teenagers
Teenagers
are
yeah.
deposited in this
Children.
maze. Or in the glade, I mean.
Glade.
They're deposited in this glade, which is basically just a.
Oh yeah, it's surrounded by the maze.
And the maze, yeah, it's like the courtyard of the maze. It's big open,
Big.
a big area, not just this little space. But
And the maze is huge.
and they live there. There's these boys
Yes.
slash teenagers,
Yeah.
and are supplied
By
with
the
the elevator that comes up from the ground. And they're surrounded by the maze. The doors close at night, and they want to be out of the maze at night when the doors close.
Uh-huh.
But they're trying to find a way out through the maze, basically, right? So they have runners that run the maze and
Yeah.
try to map the maze.
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
Thomas is the main character, and we start the book with him coming up through the elevator with no memories,
Yeah.
and
Because they don't
then
ever really have memories,
basically being
right?
explained what's going on. This is what
Yeah.
how we live here. This is what we do,
He's like, my name is Thomas.
and that's
That's
pretty
all I
much it,
know.
right?
Yeah.
What did you like about this book?
Characters. I liked some of the characters. There are some specific characters I like. I think the story, the plot of the story was a good setup. It just wasn't. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting into dislikes now. I think the plot of the story was interesting. I'll say that for now. Giant maze.
Was interesting.
It was interesting. Yeah. There you go. That was my summarization of what I liked. Thank you very much for your time. Now to you.
I really like the world building. I
Mhm.
felt really intrigued by the maze and the glade and how they had to live. I think I felt that the community that these teenage boys created seemed
Mhm.
authentic. Just
Mhm.
seemed like it was the kind of a community that a bunch of teenage boys would create.
Oh yeah.
And Thomas himself, I've read other reviews where people think of him as kind of a Gary Stu type of character, but I didn't really find that about him. I thought he was an interesting main character.
I have no idea what you just said. Gary Stew?
Have you heard of a Mary Sue?
Nope. Well,
A
I
Mary
don't think
Sue
so.
is a character that is like perfect at everything.
Oh.
No flaws. And if they do have a flaw, it's like to make them look cuter somehow, like better, like quirky. It's just
Oh.
they're clumsy, so they're quirky because they're clumsy, or their only flaws are actually somehow turned around to be good, but something that people like about them. Everybody loves them. Also, another aspect that people often see about a Mary Sue character is that maybe it follows from their kid perfect at everything and everybody likes them, is that people tend to assume that the author is basically like, this is what I wish my life was, or this is me putting
Mhm.
my wishes for my life into this book, or for how my life could
So
be.
Gary Stu is
Gary
the
Stew
male
is just a male version of that. So
the male word of
yeah.
that.
So like I said, I read some reviews where people saw Thomas as a Gary Stu kind of character, but yeah, he had some areas of like innate ability, but I didn't find it to be overly done. And in the end, there were legitimate reasons for all of it. It
Yeah.
wasn't just he just happened to be perfect at stuff. So what did you not like about it?
Okay. In my likes, I said I liked the plot, but there is a however to that because I feel like he could have did James Dashner, whatever his name is.
Yes.
he could have he could have put the plot forth better. I mean, maybe it was probably worse in the second and third book, but I still felt like the first book could have been a bit better if he did the plot better, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
But how do you do the plot better?
I don't know. Just like putting it forth better. I don't really know what I'm trying
Do
to
you
say.
do
Do you
you wish
understand me?
there was more answers by the end, or
Well,
that
that
he
and like
revealed things in a weird order, or
maybe I'm just thinking of the other two books more than the first book.
well, that's not helpful at all.
I know. Oh, there was the love interest. I didn't really like the love interest like ever.
Considering that all we've talked about so far is a bunch of guys, that's a little bit strange of a statement to make,
I
Lena.
know. I don't know what.
So explain to us how there's a romance at all, Lena.
Oh yeah. Well, a girl arrives.
Yeah, so we didn't mention it in the synopsis, but there's all teenage boys.
Yeah.
Pretty
Well,
sure they're all
yeah.
teenagers. If they're not, they're
They're
preteen at the
teen
youngest.
kids, boys,
And after
teenagers.
Thomas, which I think before Thomas it was always one a month, they
One a
said,
month,
right?
yes. And
One
then she comes up
new
like
boy would arrive a month, and then like a day or two after him,
yeah, or like a week
a
maybe, but
teenage girl, comes up through the elevator.
with a message. But
Which
you're not allowed to know what. Read the book.
yeah, and I agree. The romance was
It was pretty bad.
totally
I didn't like
ugh.
her, so
I just never cared about her.
no.
She was Thomas. I liked. I felt like he was a
A
strong
good
protagonist,
character, yeah.
engaging. Her, I just never cared.
That's a whole
And
different story.
while I never felt like he was much of a Gary Stew, I felt like their romance was one of those kind of romances where it was like too easy.
Yeah, it was like
There's an
this
element.
is obvious.
There's an element that puts them together that like get really. There's no need for romance. It's just
Yeah.
they're together. Anyway, what else
For
did you
real.
not like? Is that
I don't know. That's probably really it.
one thing I didn't really like about it was all the fake cussing.
Oh, fake
It was just
cussing.
weird.
That was
There were a few
one.
words that they said that were similar to real life cuss words,
Mhm.
and they used them so much that I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I know what you're going for. So it's almost like it's not any better than just having that
'Cause
much
if they were making
of the real word.
fake, were they making them up or were they actually cuss words in the fictional world?
That's how cuss words work. They're made up by somebody. They're or at least turned into cuss words
I know.
in the
I'm saying,
culture.
did the boys make it up in the glade?
That is the other reason I
I'm
thought the whole cuss word thing was
greedy.
weird. So the boys, they all came to the world with, they remembered the world.
Without a penny to
They
their
just didn't have
name.
personal memories.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
They didn't have personal memories, but they could remember like going to movies. They just
Yeah.
didn't remember, like they remember what movies were, but they didn't remember their own personal lives or
Yeah.
something like that. So why did they not like? It seemed like they were making up swear words because they didn't know like real ones, but they should have. So was it just
yeah.
that some of them weren't allowed to when they remember not being allowed to use swear words, so they made up their own and somehow anyway, they how often they use it, like they kept, I think they used, wasn't like shuck one of them,
Yeah.
they would be like shuck face and they'd say stuff like that so often that I'm
Yeah.
like, if you were using the real word, I wouldn't be able to read this. It's so much.
Yeah.
And the way they're using them sometimes was just childish, which makes sense, I guess, because they're children. But anyway, it just
Or
got a
boys.
little much, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
More like more like they're boys, so they don't mature very fast.
oh, I see. You're trying to separate yourself because you're a teenager too, and
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that immature.
well, but they're not just. It's not just that they're boys. It's not just that they're teenagers either. It's that they're unsupervised.
That's
So
also
in
true.
real life, a bunch of teenagers, boys or girls, but probably maybe more boys, who are like left on their own, like to survive without their parents, one of the first things they might start to do is use all the cuss words they're not allowed to use at home. I also, and speaking of their memories, I felt like the progression of life as we know it to the dystopian future world, because this is a dystopian future world.
Uh-huh.
So it's meant to be the future of our world. The progression of life in modern times to the dystopian world that these people inhabit just seemed a little off in conjunction with the things they remembered, because their memories seemed like it was more modern times, and then somehow like they're not that old, so how could it be as just different? The world is so different later.
Mhm.
So that might just be a matter of them not the author not making it very clear what time period
Mhm.
they were in at the time that this all started. But so overall, I did feel like there were some things that could have been done better. Maybe
Yeah.
slightly different things than you, but I agreed with that. That
Yeah.
could have been better.
Yeah.
What do you rate the book?
4 stars.
I rated it 4 stars also.
Wow. Twins.
That's usually the only time we rate something exactly the same is if we both give them 5 stars. So,
Yeah. Right.
and who would you recommend it to?
Oh, 14 and up, probably. Probably read it when I was 14, yeah.
Do you feel like somebody needs to be a sci-fi
Not really. It didn't feel too
person?
sci-fi-ish to me. Cause, yeah.
I
Like,
would agree. I mean, I think teenagers and up, and it's not heavy on the sci-fi. I mean, it's a very sci-fi world. It's
mhm.
a very futuristic world, but it's not the elements. I mean, they're living in a frontiers
Mentality?
like community because
Oh,
they don't have
yeah.
like conveniences and stuff.
Yeah.
And the maze is the most, and the maze
Sci-fi-ish.
and
And
the
the
elevator are
grievers.
the most like technologically advanced things they have in their world
Well, and the grievers.
that they're aware of,
Mm,
because they don't know what's going on outside of their glade and the maze. And the grievers, it's true. Grievers are some weird. Anyway, I mean, anything else I could say would be a spoiler for the end of the book. So,
yeah. So read the book if you really want to, if you dare. Just maybe don't read the rest of the series.
well, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're not going to go into like full on synopses and likes and dislikes and everything for the later books, but we have both read the other two books, which are
The
the
trilogy.
the Scorch
Scorch
Trials,
Trials and the Death
the
Cure.
Death Cure,
The Death Cure.
and
Just
we
we
can't because we
both
also have to be careful not to give spoilers about the first book to talk about later ones, and
yeah
that makes it difficult actually.
we both agree that the second book was the worst, and then the third one got a little better, just not as good as the first. The first was the
I
best.
mean, I gave the second book 2.5 stars. What would you rate the second one?
Well, probably 2.5 as well. So,
What would you
ah,
rate the third one? Death Cure.
3.5.
I gave it 3. So we're
Oh,
pretty close on
yeah.
what we. So when I look at my review from the second book, because I
Yes.
what I said about Scorch Trials was I couldn't care less anymore about the relationship with Thomas and Teresa. So apparently I didn't dislike it as much to start with as I
Hmm.
thought I did, but I definitely didn't care any more about it by the second
I
book.
feel like I'm a romance person. So like I feel like I remembered being in the Maze Runner just being like I really don't like the relationship. I don't like her as a character and I don't
Hey,
really
and I'm
like
a
Blue.
romance person too. I just want my romances to make sense.
Huh? Yeah, right? So
And
like
you are just more forgiving of romances that
yeah, I
I am
guess.
not so much with. But I
You,
do like a good romance.
yeah,
So
but I'm also more for teen angst than you are. So
then you should have liked this one, because in the second book Teresa was a bad
no,
caricature of an angsty teenager.
No, okay. It was really, but the whole plot was I was so lost on the entire plot in general that all the romance just fell through for me. I just didn't like it because
Well,
the
yeah.
whole book didn't make a lot of sense to me. Because it was like flipping things. It felt like everything was being flipped in some ways. It was so weird.
Another thing that started in the second book that really detracted from it for me was a lot of the violence and like death things that would happen in the second book were just so implausible, so
Mhm.
unnecessary, over the top, just crazy
For
stuff.
real, yeah.
I mean, there's one example that we have that we can't say because it kind of be a spoiler. It's just
It
there's
was
no
crazy.
reason for this, especially
Yeah.
when you learn at some point what the reason is for like everything that's going on. There is no reason that makes sense. None of that makes sense for what happens here. And then you get to the third one, and literally the first thought I had after I finished the third book was, eh.
Yeah.
I literally was like, I don't really care.
Kind of
Like,
anticlimactic or
yeah.
something. Yeah. It was.
It was okay. It
It
wasn't
was better
terrible.
than the second
Better than
book.
the second one, but it wasn't great.
No. Cause I feel like I ended up skimming through a lot of it because then I was just like, I don't really know anymore.
And nothing really happened by the end that was any more surprising, exciting than I
Mhm.
expected, than I anticipated, than I thought it was, than everything I guessed about along the way.
The whole series is death.
And then there's a third, like a sort of a love triangle that kind of sort of crops up in this
Oh,
one,
the love
but it's even
triangle.
kind of worse.
It
It's
was
just
so awkward and
I've said this
bad.
to you before, but I really feel like there are some young adult authors that somebody told romance is an absolute necessity in a young adult book, and if you could throw in a triangle, that'd be great. And
Mhm.
James Dashner went, okay, I'll just put this one character in here just to start a love triangle because she had no other purpose.
Yeah.
So by the end of the series, I strongly theorized I would be so surprised if I ever learned other, and I might actually have to say, yeah, I don't believe it. James Dashner wrote The Maze Runner with
Mhm.
no specific plans for anything for what was going on, what was behind it, what the cause of it
Yeah.
was. And then when it did do decently, he had to come up with more and just pantsed it all the
Fell
way
through.
through.
Yeah.
Because
It
I feel
was.
like if he had planned all of
Yeah.
this, all the rest of this from the beginning, so many things would have had to be different. It just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Like I said, the plot. I think the initial idea was really good, but he could have written it a lot better.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I really did enjoy the first book.
Yeah.
I had some things about it that frustrated me or that just sort of diminished my enjoyment, but
Mhm.
overall, I was really kind of engrossed in this world.
Mhm.
I really, really was excited about where are we going with this. And I just ugh.
It just didn't work.
Eh. That's it. It's
Yeah.
just eh.
Just
So so we do recommend the first book.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to say if you read the first book and enjoy it, maybe don't read more because if you like it enough, it's hard to just stop. But I
Yeah.
really don't recommend the series as a whole to anyone.
Uh huh.
And I would have when I first read it. I in fact I did probably say that maybe teenagers would like it more than I do because I'm an adult and I don't see things the same way. But since my teenage daughter didn't really like it any more than me, so that should tell you something. Now, before we go on and talk about the movie, which I don't know if I remember it well enough to talk much about it, but I do know I've seen it, and
You
you have
saw the
too. We
first
watched
one.
it together. Yes, I
Yeah.
only watched the first one.
I watched all three.
There is a well, there are two prequel novels. I'm pretty sure
I
both of the
think
other two are
so.
prequel novels. I've not read them.
I haven't read them.
I have no plan to.
I don't plan to
I
either.
really now that since I know what's going on in the series, I really don't have any desire to see what happened
It's like
beforehand.
the Kill Order, I think, is one
That's
of
one of
them.
them. Um
The something fever.
Fever Code.
Oh yeah, Fever Code.
So the Kill Order and the Fever Code. I don't
Yeah.
know what the order is. And now, well, not just now, but there is a
Recently,
current still
there's.
being written, or at least I don't know if the one that just came out is
I
the
think it's a
final one or what.
trilogy.
Um, Follow-up series that takes place decades later.
I think so.
I liked the first book enough to give him another try in this world, so I plan to read it. In fact, I'm going
Mhm.
to read the first one of the three pretty soon. Like I'm
Fairly
2 books away
short.
from it, and
Yeah.
I already own the third one because I got a physical advanced reader's
ARC.
copy, which is physical ones are always so much more fun to have.
Wow.
Whether or not I don't know if you have any plans to read it or if you're gonna wait to see what I think. I don't know.
I probably will wait because I don't really have that much of an interest in reading it, but I also kind of want to read it, but I also don't want to put
But if
another
I read it and I'm
series in
like,
my
oh my
to-do
gosh,
list.
Lena, this is amazing, you have to read it, then maybe you'll like, okay, fine.
Probably. Yeah.
Because of the fact that we thought similar things about the whole series, if I love it, then you should trust me, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Do you remember the movie? Well, you've watched all of them, so you probably remember them better than me.
The first one. The first one was the best one.
I remember
First one
knowing
wasn't
that
that
some stuff
bad.
was different, but I don't
Yeah.
really remember it being. I mean, even like stuff that happened in the maze was very different.
Yeah.
But only would bother you probably if you really like the book and you're bothered by
Yeah.
things being changed from the original.
Yeah.
I mean, but
It's a
probably the thing that I like the most about it is the fact that Ferb is in it. So,
Ferb.
I mean, I really like. I've only seen him in a
I
few
like
things,
that
but I really
character. I
like
like that
Thomas Brody
actor.
Sangster. So, plus Newt
He's really good at
was
it.
one of my
I
favorite
love.
characters in the book too.
Yes, Newt was one of
Probably
my
my
favorite.
favorite if you don't count the actual main character.
Thomas is your
Throughout the
favorite.
series, he was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, you've seen the movies more. I'm sorry, I shouldn't take over.
As a generality, the it was really stupid because they completely changed the plot pretty much. They just kind of flipped it. by, I don't know if it was like the end of the first one or like the beginning of the second one,
I
but it was like,
think I remember that the end of the first one was vastly different. So when
yeah,
they get to the second movie, it has to be like
it
a whole
was
different
a
plot.
whole different plot, and I was just like, okay, what the heck? you, you can have movies where they're a little different from their books, but you can't just change the whole thing.
Apparently you can, because How to Train Your Dragon is completely different.
Well,
See, you can do it. They do it, and sometimes it's better. Is that? Did you have anything else to say about the movies?
no, not really.
Okay,
I don't recommend them.
there you go. And I think that's it for this book and this
Yep.
series, right?
Join us next time when we will be reviewing Catching Fire and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins.
And just in case anybody's not completely up on all of the 27, 28 previous episodes of this we've had, we have reviewed The Hunger Games.
Uh-huh.
And as sort of a follow up, we're going to do the rest of the main series.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about
The movies.
all 4 of the movies, which we watched somewhat recently.
3.
And I took. There are 4
there
movies.
are 4.
Thank
I forgot about Mockingjay Part 2.
Yeah. And I took furious notes the whole time. So
Furious notes.
we
Thank
got
you
lots
very
to
much.
talk about.
Are there going to be spoilers in that one?
There might be spoilers of the first book. I don't know that we
Okay.
can avoid spoiling the first book if we want to talk in more.
Yes.
It's one thing to talk generally
But
about
we can-
sequels, but if
Yeah.
you haven't read the first Hunger Games and you don't want to be spoiled, you probably shouldn't listen to the next podcast.
Thank you very much.
Until next time, I'm Christy,
And I'm Lena.
and this is
Generation Gap Book Reviews.